From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a severe weather alert.
Welcome back, everybody. We have a new tornado warning here for Colbert and Lauderdale counties. This was that cell that I was watching very closely, and it actually is an area of rotation here that has popped up. This is just southwest of Muscle Shoals. If you're in Muscle Shoals, Tuscumbia, Florence, Killen, the Elgin community as well, St. Florine, even up towards Lexington as well, up towards the state line. You are in this active tornado warning right now. This is an area of circulation that's starting to get going here on the southwestern side of Colbert County, and this will continue to make its way on off to the northeast with time. We've got meteorologist Kelly Rawson over there. Kelly, can you take can you go to velocity, and then we'll take a storm track?
Do you want storm relative or base?
That's fine right here. I can still tell where it is. Do a track right here where that little notch is.
Okay.
And this is actually going...
How fast are we moving?
That's what I'm looking at right here. It's moving northeast at 50, so take it out for 50 miles per hour. Perfect right there. And we'll just keep...
I'll just leave it
Yeah,
there,
just leave that right there. So again, this is kind of a quick fuse tornado warning here. There's a chance a tornado is already on the ground here across the southwestern part of Colbert County. If you live in New Bethel, Hawk Pride, Woodland, is going to get into your area within the next 5 minutes. So you need to be in your tornado safe place right now if you live on the southwestern side of Muscle Shoals, Tuscumbia. We're talking about this area that is just south of US 72. It will continue to make its way on up and get close to the Shoals area. So Tuscumbia at 535, Sheffield at 537, Muscle Shoals at 538, Florence at 540, and then eventually it will cross the Tennessee River. If it goes further west, it could impact Oakland. That would be around 539, and if it goes a little further to the east, it could impact the St. Florine area at about 547, and then could eventually get towards Killen. That's probably going to be close to, I would say, 555 at that point. So again, this is a new tornado warning for Colbert and Lauderdale counties, and this goes until, I can't tell over this, at 6 o'clock. It goes till 6 p.m. Yeah, it goes until 6 p.m. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to your lowest floor of a site-built structure. Get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This is not going to be a significant tornado, I don't think. I think this is going to be more of an EF0, maybe EF1 if we do get one on the ground here. So this is one that could easily ride out in a site-built structure. If you're in a mobile home, I need you to get out. I need you to go to a tornado shelter that is outside of that mobile home. And I need you to do that now, especially if you live near Muscle Shoals, Florence. You have a little more time here if you live up close to Lexington. If you live right along US 43 here, Kelly, can you zoom in a little further? I just want to give a heads up to anybody on the northern end of the polygon, especially if they're in a mobile home, because they will have some more lead time up here. So if we can zoom in whenever you get a chance. I know you're kind of getting your, there you go. If you live near Green Hill, if you live near Arkdale, Lexington, this is Alabama Highway 64 that runs from Lexington all the way over to US 43. So Green Hill, Bailey Springs, Killen, this area, if you live near Arkdale West on Alabama 64, towards US 43. If you're in a mobile home, I need you to get out. I need you to go to your nearest tornado shelter. Again, this is not going to be a significant tornado, I don't think, but there is a chance here that we will potentially or could have already a tornado on the ground. Can we see what correlation coefficient looks like real quick? Yeah. I'm curious about that. It might get a little noisy. There's a little something there. You're able to back up let's just see if there's a little, like back up in time a little bit. That's what I was trying to get to, just to see if there's anything. I'm not seeing anything that's really standing out there.
We have the UNACAM in links.
Yes.
Looking at it.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Let's toss over to that UNACAM. And this is looking in that general direction you said?
Yeah, that's looking right at it.
Okay. It might be a little tough to see because you've got rain in the way, but I do notice. Wow, that's.
Stand by where the rest
Okay. Yeah, let me know when y'all are.
That should be right.
That looks like that might be it coming up here.
That would make sense.
That would make sense. And the thing is, and I stress, you see here 59 with a dew point of 58. That's what I was talking about. There's a chance out there that you get these just little pockets that get either just enough instability and wind shear to work with that you can get these little quick spin ups now within the rain shield. There's a lot of shear out there, so there's a chance that we could have a very quick tornado. New tornado warning is being drawn up for downstream of Coleman. Initial warning was confirmed by Train Spotter and Good Hope. So again, we might have 2 tornado warnings to deal with now. One for Colbert and Lauderdale, and the other one for Morgan County.
And to just mention Morgan County for just a second, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for you folks in Morgan County ahead of that rotating storm that we've been tracking. You guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning at this time. It's not at this time a tornado warning. Let me go ahead and show you all of Northwest Alabama taking a break for
Kelly.
just a moment to make sure that we give everyone equal coverage. Talking about that southeastern portion of Morgan County that we've been watching. I'll go ahead and go to...
There's that tornado warning.
Include portions of Morgan.
Yes, I figured that they would go with that severe. So go ahead, Kelly.
Okay, so we did give you guys times of arrival over in Colbert County. We're going to hop over to Morgan County. We have to give everybody equal coverage as we have 2 tornado warnings in the viewing area at the same time. Now, this one in Morgan County does have a history of being a confirmed tornado with this storm that's moving through and moving into Morgan County out of Coleman County, moving northeast right now. We're waiting for that polygon, there it is, to pop up. And again, it clips just the far southeastern portion of Morgan County, but you folks need to be in shelter right now. Let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit closer. And let me go ahead and turn on storm relative velocity. We're on Huntsville's radar right now, and so that area of rotation is still just in the far northern corner or portion of Coleman County, just past the Gold Ridge and Simcoe area. That is tracking northeastward. So if you live in Apple Grove, Ryan's Crossroads, Huleco, those kind of places, you need to be in your tornado safe spot right now. You need to be heading there right now. Eva, you folks in Odin Ridge, Coal Spring, this tornado warning does not include you. However, it is quite stormy in your location, but the center of rotation is going to miss you to the east. So you folks, Coal Spring, Odin Ridge, Eva, you guys are not in the tornado warning. I will go ahead and zoom in just a little bit closer into that corner of Morgan County. So Centerdale, Huleco, again, Ryan Crossroads, Center Grove, Apple Grove. If you are familiar with any of these locations, you need to be in your shelter. There's Alabama 67 that runs through Huleco up to Florette. You folks need to avoid driving in that location at this time. I'll go ahead and zoom into some streets, or if we have it on fast track at any point.
Just a little bit, and
we'll work on that.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and name out some streets just to give you guys some familiarity of the area. Again, it's a relatively rural area, but we know still folks live out here in southeastern Morgan County. We have Highway 67, like I mentioned, Martis Point Road, Hyatt Bottom Road, Hogjaw Road, Hilltop Road, Apple Grove Road, Lawrence Cove Road. So if any of these sound familiar, or if you live on any of these roads, you need to be seeking shelter. Again, lowest level of the building, most interior room, as many walls between you and the outside as you can. You need to be in your safe place now. Again, this storm has a history of producing a confirmed tornado. So you folks need to take this warning seriously in the southeastern corner of Morgan County. Taylor, I can throw it back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly. Again, this is that storm that we've been watching for a while here, and so that's why the Weather Service has continued this tornado warning, is because there was a confirmed tornado on it in Coleman County, and we did have a report. This is from Alex Puckett, one of my friends that works over at CBS 42 in Birmingham. They were watching a lowering on their Coleman camera as well. Just to give you an idea, I know Kelly mentioned all these little communities here in this southeastern portion of Morgan County. Eva's right here. If you have an Eva address, I would go ahead and seek shelter because, again, this includes a lot of places around Eva. You don't have to specifically be in Eva. And also, if you're near Brewer High School is right up here, just between, or just to the southwest of out the intersection there, the four-way at Alabama 36 and 67. So if you live in Brewer High School, there used to be the shack right there on Catocco Floret Road over here just by the high school. I think that's, I know the building's there. I don't think the restaurant's there anymore. That's just outside of the tornado warning. So if you know those general vicinities, that's kind of close to where that northwestern edge of that warning polygon is. Now, again, I know that people watch us in Marshall and Madison counties as well. So this is moving into your general area. So if you are watching right now, Apple Grove at about 541, Morgan City, that's on the very northern part of the polygon as you go towards the Lacey Spring area, right there along US 231. So Morgan City at about 548, Union Grove, that's probably closer to where this actual path is going to go here in Marshall County. So Union Grove at about 550, Hobbs Island at about 554. Again, that's the far northwestern part of the polygon. So if you do live in South Huntsville, specifically close to the river, Ditto Landing, those communities over there on the south side of town, I would continue to watch this. But again, you're not officially in the tornado warning right now. So again, our main focus though for our viewing area is this far southeastern part of Morgan County, and that still looks pretty impressive. So this will eventually cross over the county line here momentarily. All right, let's flip back over to the shoals. We still have a tornado warning over there. Real quick, the Weather Service says the strongest part of the Coleman cells in northeast Coleman near Eva. Spotter reported possible rotation and funnel cloud near Welty and Holly Pond areas. That's report from emergency manager. This one's starting to fall apart. You see how we started to get a little bit of action back there towards Rock Creek. That's where that initial circulation was, and now it's starting to kind of fizzle out. It's still somewhat there. So if you live right along the river here, this is crossing US 72, eventually cross the river, and I think this is this close to, they have a coal plant over there, don't they? Over there in Colbert County?
They have something over there.
Yeah, I can't remember specifically.
I think it's a refinery.
Is a refinery? There's some TVA plant over here. I think it's just to the east of that. That's where that would be, near the Woodland area. And there's Alabama 247. I think that's right over here. I think that's that Colbert TVA that's over there on the west side of the shoals. So that's kind of where this area of rotation is moving into. Are we able to, is that Florence Cam or Muscle Shoals?
I'll pull up the Florence, or
We have it on 3.
Yeah, let's go to links 3. So this is the Florence Cam, and this is still pointing in that direction. And notice what's happened with the temperature here. We're starting to bump up a little bit. 60 with a dew point of 59. That's getting close to that threshold where if you are going to get a tornado, that's usually the environment, at bare minimum that you can get here in Alabama with a possible tornado. And again, it's really hard to see. I think that's just a raindrop spot right there. It looked like there's a little bit of a lowering back there. But the thing that's interesting is we got an east wind at 12. There's some lightning right there. If we get, are you seeing something back there? Is that you zooming in?
Yeah, I was putting it back in.
Okay. So I guess what we're looking for is right back in here. What I was going to say is, if you have an east wind and you actually do have a cell that's trying to produce a tornado, that can actually enhance the rotation, because now you've got winds that are coming in at a completely different angle than what they are above, almost a 90-degree angle, and that can actually quickly spin up a tornado. That's something that we'll have to watch on my phone. I'm still watching that circulation in Coleman County. Again, there's one that's coming out of the Arley community in Winston County, and that could eventually get close to the Falkville area.
I've got it.
You got it now?
There it is.
Right back in here?
That's kind of your general area.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
looking to the right of the pole there.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. While you do that, let me grab my water bottle.
possibly
Matter of fact, if you pan right there, other way, you kind of get a sense of that lower base, just behind, right behind.
Right
Taylor.
behind me?
Yeah, you kind of get a sense of the
Yeah.
lower base there. See that scud rising off there?
Can we double box with this Florence cam?
Yeah,
Yes, do
Yeah.
that.
double box that.
Go to,
So we'll throw that up in a double box. We'll put you on loose.
All right, we're having a new
2.
tornado warning coming out for the cell in eastern Winston and moving into northwestern Coleman and Morgan. So we'll flip to that, not now, but when they issue that warning, they will. It's for the cell coming out from here. So let's. We're going to do the double box. We got that right now?
Yeah, we've got a double box here.
Okay, I see it up
in the
there
bottom
now.
right.
All right, so this one coming out of Addison, it's starting to strengthen a little bit. That's the cell that I mentioned that had that tornado in Gordo
That
and
seems to be it there.
Reform.
615.
Yes, so this includes limestone. So again, this is what I was talking about. This one's taking more of a northern track here. So this is now going into parts of western Morgan, extreme southern Limestone County. This does not include Madison County. I think that kind of goes along the county line. But if you live in Priceville, Hartselle, Falkville, if you live right along US 31, if you live on the west side of the county, Alabama Highway goes through Hartselle. It kind of winds its way back over here towards Alabama 33 south of Moulton. If you live in those areas, Danville over here as well, this is that area of rotation that's now coming out of Winston County. It will eventually move into far northwestern Coleman County. That's a good look at it right there on storm relative velocity. If we can get a storm track on that.
Absolutely.
So that's, again, moving into far northwestern Coleman County and eventually move into Morgan County as well.
Are we still moving about 45, 50 miles an hour?
I imagine so.
Let me double check that for you.
Yeah, double check that.
Yeah, we're moving at 50.
Okay,
thank you.
So get storm track on that, and I'll continue to talk about this as well.
Give
that
me 1 second. I'll extend that out a little bit.
Okay. We're still watching that circulation on the east side of Morgan County as well. This one still had reports of possible funnel clouds, maybe a tornado briefly touching down here in southeastern Morgan County. That continues to hug that northern side of the polygon here, so that's something that the Weather Service might need to adjust, as these circulations are kind of moving a little bit further back to the west. So if you live in Morgan City here, you also have this circulation here coming in from the Eva area. This is the circulation coming in from the Arley area. It's just moving over US 278. It'll move towards Jones Chapel here on the east side of Coleman. We'll eventually get to Battleground at about 5:49, Danville at about 5:55, Falkville at about 5:57, Hartselle right around 6 o'clock, and then eventually getting to Cold Springs a little after 6, Flint City 6:05, and Priceville at 6:08. So we have currently 3 tornado warnings. I believe they're still in effect. We got one that's now trimmed back to just Lauderdale County. And are we still double box? We're able to see anything on that
We're still double
Florence?
boxing. We're just seeing, I'm seeing some low clouds. We're looking right at where anything would be. I don't know if these guys have been watching it a little bit closer than me. Have you guys seen anything?
Yeah, we've been looking at it and trying to discern any structure, but we really can't because of the HP nature. That's a high precipitation.
Right, yeah,
nature of
we're
it.
trying to see through a lot of rainfall here.
Yeah, that
Okay.
we are, and we're really not able to see a lot. And we do see some scud rising off the trees, which at first glance might seem a little tornadic, right? But
Yeah.
we can at least tell that much. So it's a little tricky right now. We're keeping a close eye on it. In fact, we're going to throw you back to single box, and we'll watch this behind the
Okay.
scenes since we're a little inactive right now. So we'll go back here so we can focus one at a time there. But we'll watch this very closely back here.
And
All
I
right,
went ahead
thank you.
and
Go
zoomed
ahead.
out.
Yes.
And to give you folks in Decatur, because you guys are in this tornado warning that has just been issued for parts of Morgan County. And so your time of arrival for you folks in Decatur, 6:12, Tanner, Alabama, you folks are not included in the tornado warning, but this storm will reach you folks in southern Limestone County between 6:15, 6:20. So in Somerville, you folks, 6:09, Priceville, 6:08. I know I'm going backwards, but just to reiterate, Hartselle, 6:01, Falkville, 5:57, Jones Chapel, 5:42.
All right, I'm looking through. I need to completely scroll through the Birmingham chat. Because technically that circulation's still in the BMX National Weather Service county warning area. That's Winston County over there. Coleman County is Huntsville, and they're saying wall cloud. Okay, so this is all right. So never mind. That was this one right here. They're talking about the wall cloud fell apart. Walker 911 has reports of people entrapped in a house on Sipsey Road. So Sipsey Road is right down in this area, I believe. So that's coming from that storm. Sipsey
Sipsey is not too far from Empire, so that would be
Yeah.
south and west down there, right, presumably? So that kind of shows you the history of what these storms are capable of so far.
Yeah, so
sense.
it's Sipsey Fire Department, Sipsey FD.
Okay, so
reports,
right down there. Okay, yeah.
Yes, well, I for some reason I was thinking they're talking about a road, but they report several houses with considerable damage, even leveled on Sipsey Road. So I will go ahead and say that the houses over there, there's not a lot of big houses over there. So I mean that level could mean it could be a potentially manufactured home or site built, but not completely anchored road. I don't want to speculate, but the fact that there are potentially leveled houses there, that tells me that this thing does mean business here, and we'll have to watch this over here too, guys. Over here towards the Moulton area as well. There's a little bit of rotation with this. So again, let's kind of go through things real quick here. This first initial tornado warning, the circulation's now going back to the west. It is on the far western side of the polygon. This is closer to Lacey Spring than it is to Morgan. Excuse me. It's closer to Lacey Springs and Morgan City than it is to Union Grove and the Arab area. So this will continue to work a little bit further to the north here. So if you do live in Lacey Spring, Owens Crossroads, Ditto Landing area here of South Huntsville, that's where this circulation is eventually headed. If you're in Eva, I would not go out of my tornado safe space. I know that you're still technically in between polygons, but you got the circulation off to your west that could potentially track a little bit further to the east. So that's circulation number one. It doesn't really look to be too wrapped up at this point, but there's still a chance that there could be something on the ground here getting close to Lacey Spring, right along US 231, this part of Brindley Mountain here in far northeastern Morgan County. Circulation number two is this one that's coming out of the Addison community here in Winston County. It's going into Coleman County, and it will eventually emerge into southern Morgan County. We're talking about the Danville area, Falkville, Hartsville, Priceville, Decatur, Somerville, right along Alabama 36. If you take 36 from basically Lacey Spring all the way over to the county line towards Lawrence County, you're in that tornado warning. Priceville, again, like I mentioned, you're in that tornado warning. This does go into far southern Limestone County, so the Tanner community over there up towards Bucky's potentially. You're in that tornado warning as well. Let's go back to the west. I don't want to forget about you guys.
So they've actually expired that warning out in the Muscle Shoals area. So you folks out in the Muscle Shoals area who were under a tornado warning, that tornado warning has expired. So you guys can come out of your shelters, and you folks are, for now, in the clear over in the Shoals. So we just now have 2 active tornado warnings, focusing now on Morgan County, Alabama. Okay.
Chase, I have a task for you. If you can look at that other radar site that's in Moulton, please do, because there's something suspicious that I'm seeing on High Top. That's this area right here. That's just to the west of Moulton near Hatton.
And I'll go ahead and circle the 3 areas of rotation that we are monitoring right now. 2 of those have prompted a tornado warning, or 2 separate tornado warnings, I should say. Again, that circulation just inching into Coleman County and about to inch into southwestern Morgan County, as well as this circulation that's still continuing through eastern Morgan County. We're also watching an area of broad rotation over the Moulton area in Lawrence County, Alabama. So these are the 3 areas right now that we are monitoring. Again, Morgan County, you folks, as well as the southern portion of Limestone County, under a tornado warning. You need to be in your safe place if you're just joining us. Again, if you are in, I would say, the majority of Morgan County, as well as the southern portion of Limestone County, you folks need to be in your tornado safe place, whether that's underground in a basement or whether that's in the smallest, lowest level of your home, with as many walls in between you as the outside and away from windows. That's where you need to be right now. We do have active tornado warnings in effect.
I'm going to go ahead and tell if you're in Moulton, go ahead and seek shelter. This thing, it's starting to tighten up, and it's starting to do what it did over near the Vina area. That's what prompted that tornado warning for Colbert County. So if you're in Moulton, if you're on the east side of Hatton, if you're in Trinity, if you're in Hillsboro, right there along Alabama Highway 20, that's alternate 72 that goes from Decatur all the way over to the Shoals, if you live in that area, Cortland, I think you'll be okay. But I would go ahead and seek shelter if you're in the northeastern part of Lawrence County here. Again, no official tornado warning, but we've seen these signatures kind of come and go, and it looks like that they're actually they're able to produce tornadoes. And even though this is a very marginal environment, it does appear that we're actually getting some tornadoes out of this. So again, that's for the Moulton area, north side of Moulton near Hatton. If you live over towards Hillsboro and Trinity, right here along Alabama Highway 20, I would go ahead and just seek your tornado shelter right now, just as the course of least regret, because we've been seeing these things. They're actually starting to potentially produce some tornadoes here. Chase, did you have something?
Well, actually, I was going to say, since it's kind of a limited frequency radar, it's a bit attenuated right now, so we don't have a clear signal, but I'll keep a very close eye on that just back here, just looking into that. So if I see something, I'll let you know. I'll interrupt.
Please do. And where's our... are we able to see the Hatton cam? Is that something that's actually doable?
Yeah, we got that on 3 right now, and we can't really make out too much structure now, but this will definitely be useful.
Okay.
And keeping an eye on that thing, because we're looking...
it's looking due east.
Yeah, so we're looking due east into that Hatton.
Is that the sun that's actually coming out a little bit? Does that look bright to you guys?
It does look a little bright, doesn't it?
That looks a little bright.
Especially
I know
for being 547, I mean...
Oh, it could be. Well, it could be that the sun's going down on the horizon, and you've actually got some clearing back there towards the west. It actually might be getting through a little bit.
Sure looks like it.
Yeah, it sure does look like it. Are y'all able to control that? Sam, are you controlling that?
Yeah, we're running it right here.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. Again, it's very marginal environment. You see that dew point at 58, but I mean, again, this storm system is just so powerful that it's able to overcome the environment here in North Alabama. It's actually producing tornadoes in Coleman County. It looks like it produced one possibly in Morgan County, and there's a chance that we might be getting something that's going here in Lawrence County as well. So just keep an eye on that. If you want to double box that, and
we'll keep an eye on it back here.
Yeah, keep an eye on it back there.
Yeah, we'll watch it.
All right. Christopher White with the Weather Service in Huntsville. Low-level rotation at East Winston has weakened a little, but nevertheless could cycle back up. It's in far northwestern Coleman County, and we'll be moving into southwestern Morgan County near Andrews Chapel here very soon. So Kelly's drawing that right here. Again, it is a broad area of rotation now, but we've seen what this has done. This has caused damage down in the Sipsey area. That is down here in the western part, or excuse me, the eastern part of Winston County. If you have ever been down in that area, you've got the Bankhead National Forest, you got that Sipsey River that winds through there, very rural area, but it does appear that there is some pretty significant damage from this tornado. That doesn't look too impressive. Flip on reflectivity, if you don't mind, Kelly. I want to take a look and see. It's still got a pretty decent core with it. Again, here's your area of rotation right back here, that southern appendage. So this is your supercell. You've got winds that are coming up and into the storm. It's wrapping down the backside. So there's your hook right there. There's not a lot of rotation with it, but again, it is now moving out of Coleman County and is moving now into southern Morgan County, Andrews Chapel, Massey, Battleground. You're in the warning. This will be moving north of you in Coleman County. But if you live anywhere along Alabama Highway 157 here between Massey and Andrews Chapel, as you're going from the Battleground community up into Morgan County, you're making your way on up towards Moulton, I need you to be in your tornado safe place right now. It's still possible that this supercell could ramp back up again. There's a lot of shear out there. Even though the instability is not overly impressive, there's still enough that we can actually get a tornado that comes from this as well. But right now it looks pretty messy, which is a really good thing.
Taylor, this is starting to look messy, and it looks like, and I'm going to circle what was the original area of rotation, and now I'm also seeing this, and I'm not sure if we're starting to see this storm try to cycle or if we're just getting some inflow noise, but just watching.
Okay, well, let's do a test real quick. So take the time slider and just go back and forth, and we'll see exactly what's going on with that. So there's that initial tornado that caused damage in the Sipsey area. There it is right there, and here's that other area that Kelly was talking about right here. So there's a chance that it might be another updraft that's going here, Kelly. Then that might actually be that beginning of the mesocyclone. And yeah, there's another one here near Coleman County. So what you might be getting going here is, let me take a look at it looks like you've got some additional updrafts that are going up in this area, so there's a chance that you're going to get just the storms are starting to compete with each other, and that would actually be really good. That will lower the tornado threat initially. Yeah, there's that cell that just blew up here near Vinemont, and that does have a pretty good area of rotation on it as well. If you look back from high top, I've got GWX on my phone, but yeah, there's a chance that that actually could start to go, and that would make a beeline up towards maybe Falkville and the Eva area as well. So again, if you're in Hartselle, Danville, Falkville, Somerville, Priceville, you're under that tornado warning right now. It's this cell that's coming out of Winston County and Coleman County, and it'll continue to make its way on off in this general direction. So Hartselle, you're next in about maybe, I would say, 15 minutes or so. Falkville, probably closer to 10 minutes. Again, it's this little spot right back in here that we're watching for. There's not a lot of rotation with it. But again, this cell has a history of producing tornadoes, and there's a chance that it could recycle here and produce another one. It looks like they canceled the tornado warning for Marshall, Madison, and Morgan. So that was this spot.
Yep.
And they did severe thunderstorm with it. So I see that. So severe thunderstorm warning here for far eastern Morgan County, far western northwestern Marshall County, and extreme southeastern Madison County here. Again, this is going out of our viewing area into the Huntsville metro area of Madison County. A little bit of rotation still, but that is definitely not as defined as it once was.
And I will say with that too, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
You folks, you are now, the tornado warning has expired for the southeastern portion of Morgan County, but we are watching that circulation near Vinemont just north of Coleman. So I don't necessarily want you out of your safe place just yet. Yes, the tornado warning has expired, but what's the point of leaving your safe space to only go in there in another 5 minutes if that rotation holds together? So I do want you to just stay in your safe place for the time being, just to be safe. And if another warning is issued, that will just confirm our thinking. If not, we will give you the all clear, but I do not want you guys to leave your safe place just yet. Hold tight. We're going to watch this other area of rotation to see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's that other area that she was talking about right here that's going to be moving out of Coleman County. So, again, if you're in Eva, if you're near Brewer High School in Morgan County, if you're in Falkville, Decatur, Priceville, and Hartselle, you guys are still under this tornado warning. I don't really see anything that's telling me that this is starting to cycle back up like quickly. I see that there's still areas of rotation in here that could potentially quickly spin up a tornado. Do we have a camera in Falkville? I thought I saw one on the list. I thought that we had one on Interstate 65. It might be under the. Do what?
We have Priceville.
Priceville. I thought that there was one on maybe the winter toolbar that he had, but
we'll look behind the scenes.
Yeah, look behind the scenes. I thought that there was one there. It might have just been Priceville. So again, we'll try to look at that, but there is just a little bit of rotation that's still ongoing here. It'll be interesting to see what the Weather Service is going to do. Again, the way in the environment is up here on a thermo basis, meaning the instability and everything, there's not a lot of fuel to work with, but there is just enough that there's so much shear in the atmosphere that these could quickly spin back up and potentially produce a tornado. So, and this has a history of producing damage in the Sipsey area down there in Winston County. So it's possible that the Weather Service might hold on just a little bit longer just because of the history of these storms. But I don't really see anything that's screaming tornado at this moment. Still watching that little area of rotation here near the Vinemont area. That's just about to move north from Coleman County into Morgan County as well. While we've got just, again, I don't really see an imminent tornado with this. Let's back things out real quick. And Kelly, why don't you do a quick kind of overview of what all is going on right now? And again, there's a lot of rain, a lot of storm activity out there. Just quickly do an overview because I know a lot of people are still hearing the thunder and lightning out there right now.
Yeah, so we still have a very active radar. Of course, we have that tornado warning, just the singular tornado warning. But again, if you are in Morgan County, I do want you to be in your safe place right now. For southern middle Tennessee, we're dealing with a lot of flooding and flash flooding issues. It is still raining. It is still pouring. We're still seeing a lot of lightning. There are no severe storms in southern Middle Tennessee. Again, we're dealing with a lot of rain, a lot of lightning, but you currently have no severe weather in southern Middle Tennessee. For much of the rest of our viewing area, in fact, we're starting to get into some dry conditions in Tishomingo County, Mississippi. You still have some flooding and flash flooding, especially in the southern part of the county. Again, we're still dealing with a lot of heavy rain. We're still dealing with a lot of lightning. Even in northwest Alabama, you folks not included in the tornado warning, not experiencing severe weather at this time, but still dealing with flooding and flash flooding. We keep getting reports and reports and reports of road closures, of just issues on the roads because of how much rain has fallen. And we're talking several inches all across the region, leading to these flooding and flash flooding issues. So again, I'm going to want you to stay at home. We're still dealing with road hazards, even if it is quote unquote just flooding, because flooding is still a potential deadly hazard. Again, as we get closer to sunset, you are not going to be able to see the water or how deep the water is on the road. You can't even see that in the daylight. So again, if a road is flooded, I want you to turn around, don't try and find another way to your destination. It may inconvenience you 5-10 minutes, but it's the peace of mind that matters, and your safety is what ultimately matters. Again, we are still watching the tornado warned storm coming into Morgan County and affecting you folks. It's just south of Decatur at this time. Lightning seems to be kind of ramping up.
It could be cycling again.
So let's go ahead and zoom back into Morgan County. But I did just want to hit everybody in the viewing area. We still have eyes everywhere, but the only threat right now is in Morgan County.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly. And again, like what she said, is even though you might not be dealing with this tornado potential here in Morgan County, there's a lot of flooding out there. I actually want to hit that a little harder once we get out of this tornado warning, because the pictures that I'm seeing that we just shared on our social media, holy cow. So yeah, this is definitely turning into a life-threatening situation in some places in regards to that flooding potential. Again, like what Kelly mentioned, there's still a lot of lightning with this storm, but there's still just not a lot of definition to that rotation. But again, the history of this storm, you go all the way back to West Alabama. This went through the Gordo and Reform areas down there in Pickens County. That's west of Tuscaloosa, and it had 2 tornadoes on the ground at one point, it seemed like. Brett Adair had his drone up and taking a look at this, and you just had 2 what seemed to be monster tornadoes that were on the ground. So the history with this cell is too much to ignore. Even the fact that just down the road here in Winston County, it apparently leveled some homes over there. They do say, Katie McGee over at the Weather Service Huntsville did say they're about to cancel this tornado warning. So again, this storm will continue to move on off to the northeast. Decatur, Priceville, Somerville, Hartselle, you guys are seeing this right now. I don't see anything that screams tornado on the ground. The Weather Service is about to cancel this tornado warning. There's a chance that they might go with a severe thunderstorm warning in its place. We'll see what they do with that. But we're getting close. We're at 6 o'clock now. So again, while we don't have an active tornado warning, I want to hit this flash flooding because the pictures that we're seeing in some of these places are just absolutely incredible. So take the radar off real quick. I saw that you actually, if you can do that, you don't have. Okay, I might not even know how to do that either. But I saw when you change that, you can see the warnings better. So I guess go ahead and go to that.
She'll get you on links 1 in a moment.
Yeah, give me on links 1 in a moment. So I'll just continue to talk about this. Again, continued heavy rain. Really good rainfall rates here from the shoals.
I was about to actually pull up some rainfall rates for you.
Yeah, go ahead and pull up the rainfall rates, because this is becoming a big issue here in Loretto, Lawrenceburg, Lawrence County, parts of Giles County. Here's that big swath.
I'll go ahead and do the dual pole rain totals here for you for high top.
Yes, that would be the most accurate. And that's probably what, 2 to 3 inches here in the past.
Yeah, you got 3.5-ish.
Yeah.
Here, up here, close to our corner, 5 inches.
5 inches. Again, even though it says 12 hours, this has not happened over 12 hours. This has happened over about a 3 to 4 hour period. So, and it's still coming down at a very heavy pace here. So again, if you are in the Ardmore area, if you're up towards Fayetteville, Pulaski, again, Lawrenceburg, Loretto, already seeing that flooding potential out there. A lot of roads that are being flooded. It looks like they're actually closing roads out there that are having, that are basically impassable. So you're getting at 6 o'clock. And again, like I mentioned earlier, this is an evening just to stay inside. There's no reason, unless it's an emergency or whether you just have to go to work or whatever reason, stay inside if you can. Yeah, there's the flash flood watches and warnings, and they're just lighting up like crazy here from the shoals, again, up towards Lawrenceburg, Pulaski, even on up towards the Nashville metro area, even north of Nashville, you get up towards that banner up here. That's all the way up to the Kentucky state line up there northeast of Nashville. So again, please, I would emphasize, just stay at home if you can. The only issue that you would have is if for some reason these floodwaters start coming up and creeping up to your home. As far as I'm aware, I haven't heard of any homes that are getting flooded yet. Kelly, Chase, I hadn't seen anything like that. Sam, have you heard anything like that yet? I hadn't heard anything about homes. I know you got a lot of connections over there in Lauderdale County.
According to the EMA in Lauderdale County, all rural creek, like low water crossings in the county are closed until further notice.
Okay, so
there is a good amount of flooding ongoing around
on those
Florence as well.
in Florence. Okay, so a lot of road closures going on along the low-lying areas that have like creeks that are kind of getting close to the road. They might have a bridge that, just kind of those rural areas that are kind of down in valleys that are having some issues. So again, that's what I stress is just if you can stay at home, stay at home. Don't venture out because you're getting tons and tons of flooded roadways out here in the shoals. And again, up towards Loretto and Lawrenceburg, we posted that image on our social media just a little bit ago. That's what I saw. So again, really need to emphasize that even though the severe weather threat could be coming to an end, or at least it's starting to dwindle down, we're still watching things. The flooding risk continues to go higher and higher and higher as long as we get these roads or this rainfall that just continues over and over and over again with some of these roadways. How's that Hatton stuff going on?
We were watching that earlier, and it's kind of just...
It's fizzled out?
So there's no worries there.
Okay. I think what we're getting into now is you're getting just so much of a rain shield that it's just continuing to eat away at the instability that's even barely there. It's being used up. So we'll just continue to have to watch the radar here. Speaking of the radar, let's go to GWX. I've been keeping an eye on this. I hadn't really seen, it hasn't really done much, but it's this area that's down here near Vina again. This is a cell that's coming out of Mississippi. Again, this is the back end. This is it, folks. This is the back end of our system. So that window, even though again it's been getting smaller and smaller and smaller for tornado potential and severe weather potential, this is the final show. So if anything's going to happen, it's going to be from these cells that are coming out of Mississippi. These still look suspicious. There is lightning with it. I'm looking at velocity. I'm not seeing anything that's really substantial on velocity data, which is good. We'll have to watch these cells that are coming out of Marion County. They're just getting into Marion County right here along Interstate 22. This will eventually make their way on up into Winston County, probably get close to Haleyville and Double Springs, and that would eventually move into parts of Lawrence County. And I don't think there's some weak rotation with it, but that's about it. Everything that I'm seeing embedded within the rain doesn't look like it's going to pose much of an issue. So, again, there's a tornado watch in effect, but it looks like our window is closing very, very rapidly. Kelly, if you have anything else to add over there, everything I'm seeing on my end is saying that that might have been our last big bump of severe weather across our area. Yeah,
so, and I want to reiterate, so we currently, aside from flooding and flash flood warnings, we do not currently have any other active warnings. The tornado warning in Morgan County has expired, so we don't need anybody else to be in their safe place. You guys can all come out of your safe place if you have not done so already. The only active warnings we currently have in the viewing area are going to be the flooding and flash flooding issues that we've just been talking about for the last several minutes. we still have a lot of rainfall to go. You see, it's still a very active radar. We are just now starting to see clearing from west to east into, we had just had the last few couple showers going to be entering into Tishomingo County and into Hardin County in Tennessee. Those, again, we will be clearing from west to east. And as we do so, we are going to be starting to really eliminate our severe threat.
We've already lost our watches out there in Mississippi.
And correct, yes. And let me bring up our watch warning map. No.
I think that would be the explanation.
Yeah, it's through the yeah, that one right there.
Nope, not that.
There you go. Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, so our current watch warning map. So Tishomingo County, Mississippi, you folks are no longer under a tornado watch. And I believe all of southern middle Tennessee no longer under a tornado watch as well. So you folks are clear from the tornado threat. Now, we still have a lot of rainfall, a lot of lightning. You guys are not clear from the flooding and flash flooding threat. So I still do, like we've been saying, advise you to stay at home. It's just not worth it. The roads, again, we've been having road closures. We've been having those low water bridges and creeks where the water continues to rise as we continue to see rainfall. So it's just best to stay at home, again, unless you absolutely have to be traveling. But the tornado threat for southern middle Tennessee, as well as Tishomingo County, Mississippi, is over. You folks in northwest Alabama, we're going to hold on to that tornado watch just a little bit longer to make sure, because again, we've just been seeing some rotation and some circulations continuing to enter into North Alabama. But as you've been seeing, things have been weakening as they move into our area, which is a fantastic thing. But we are still watching the threat for flooding and flash flooding all throughout the viewing area. And again, we just want to continue to emphasize this because floodwaters are still a very dangerous threat. So again, take that seriously, but we don't have any current active warnings aside from flash flood warnings. We just covered that pretty in depth. So we are going to go ahead and scale it back and head to regularly scheduled programming. We will be back with an update again at 7 p.m. if we do not get any additional warnings, but we will be watching radar very closely and we will be back with any warnings should they become active here in the Tennessee Valley. But for meteorologist Taylor Plott, as well as Chase Wilson and Sam Camp, I'm Kelly Rawson. Stay with Tennessee Valley Weather. We'll keep you advised.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley